Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Hey, Thrive Loud listeners. We have a series of special episodes coming your way that took place at the Wall Street Conference in Palm Beach, Florida in late May of 2025. I had the pleasure of speaking with many amazing leaders on that day from a number of different industries at this conference. We have episodes where we feature just one of the guests, and in a few instances, we paired some guests together into one particular episode. Now, I'm going to put this intro disclaimer at the top of each of the episodes within the series. For those that listen to Thrive Loud, we apologize as there was a lot of people milling about as we were part of Radio Row, and there was quite a buzz on the conference floor. For those that watch Thrive Loud on either YouTube or Spotify, we apologize for the lighting and video quality, as it was a little challenging to capture high-quality video, both with the setup we had and the very bright Florida sunshine trying to jump in and steal the spotlight, or should I say sunlight. We wanted to thank the Wall Street Conference for having us. Special thanks to Jason Lyons for connecting with us there, as well as C-Suite Radio. Let's get to the episode. Welcome, everyone. We are back here at the Wall Street Conference in Palm Beach. I am so excited because I get to reconnect with the former crypto cowboy. He's still the cowboy. But Drew Taylor is in the house here today. How are you, Drew?
I'm doing exceptional, Lou. I have to tell you, one of the brightest moments coming to this whole conference was seeing you looking at me, and I thought, dang, I know that guy. And you walk over and you go, Lou Diamond, and I thought, no kidding. How are you, buddy?
First of all, it was so good. We figured out it's been almost 6 years. I figured it out afterwards. Since you and I actually connected, we had met at a conference. He had a big-time cryptocurrency podcast show. He's done lots of updated things. Let's do that. I want to do the little rewind. Bring us to current. What has Drew Taylor been working on today?
Okay. So I did the Wild West Crypto Show for about 7 years, right? And then it's a season. I ran a season. And then I change and do things. I'm one of those restless guys that can't just do one thing, you know? And so we sold chain juice bars before I got in the crypto business. And then my oldest son traveled all over the world for 5 years. Ended up in Mexico, okay? And kept trying to get me to go down there. This is about 4 years ago. Kept trying to get me to go down there. And I'm busy. I didn't go. And then he sends me a picture on his phone, texts it to me, of a baby. And he goes, if you want to meet your granddaughter, come to Mexico.
Oh, my goodness.
Dirty dog. You know? So what do? I go to Mexico.
Oh, you go. You go.
Yeah. So I go down, I get to meet my daughter, and I get to meet the baby mama and all that stuff. But I'm in Mexico, and you know, Lou, I'd been to the coast, like everybody has, Acapulco, Cancun, all that kind of thing. I'd never been to the interior of the mountains of Mexico. And you and I talked about it earlier, San Cristobal de las Casas, okay? They call it the cultural epicenter. Most Americans have probably heard of Merida. We talked a little bit about that. Probably where more expats are in San Miguel de Allende.
Yep.
Well, San Cristobal, in my opinion, it trumps San Miguel de Allende, you know. And so when the Spaniards came in many years ago, the trade winds and the currents took them to the Yucatan.
Yeah.
The Mayans lived there and all this. I go down to Mexico and I tell my son, let's do something here. The civility of the people, everyone works. I mean, it was really heartwarming, especially being from Texas where everybody's friendly, you know?
Right.
And anyway, I just fell in love with the place. And so I'm partnering with a couple down there that has a legacy piece of property, been in the family for a couple hundred years. There's actually a 500-year-old Spanish conquistador chapel on this property.
My goodness.
Because when the Spaniards came in, and the Mayans used to occupy this area, and there's artifacts and stuff everywhere, talked to the owner, and we are building a retirement resort on that property.
By the way, this is awesome. First of all, anything in Mexico works for me. Transition for you, you're in Texas. That's where originally you're from. Mm-hmm. You couldn't tell people it wasn't from Texas. And obviously adapting to being down there. What's it like for you?
So interestingly enough, my wife and I, you know, I've got her. For many years, I do my own stuff because I have too much energy. She said, you need 3 or 4. I mean, she's not going to let me be a polygamist, okay? But she goes, you need 3 or 4 people that you're in regular contact with to take pressure off of me. So she loves me being gone about half the time, and that's why it's worked so well in the business we're in, right? And so anyway, I got her situated. I moved her to a different place where she'd be more safe and secure while I'm gone, okay? Because you got to take care of your women, right? So anyway, I got her in a gated community with a bunch of retirees and that kind of thing, and it's a very active community. So when I leave, I don't have to worry about her being there. So I spend 7 to 10 days in Mexico, and then 7 to 10 days back in Texas, and then the other traveling that I have to do for business and stuff. So, Lou, I tell people this, for whatever reason, God put me in a place where I live a charmed life, my friend, you know?
You've been obviously very successful, but you're always learning. We're here at the Wall Street Conference here, and obviously we're on Radio Row for the C-Suite Radio.
Yes.
Shout out to Jeffrey and everybody else that he's got going on this thing. Tell us a little bit about what you're trying to get out of being here today.
So you mentioned Jeffrey Hazlett, and so I've known Jeffrey about the same time I've known you, you know, about 8 years, and he had started his C-Suite, which I had my Wild West Crypto show on there for years. Right. And then we've kept in touch, and I never really took advantage of my membership in the C-Suite. And about a year ago, he called me when he started this big thing. And folks, if you're a content creator or you thought you ever wanted to be one, you need to reach out to this guy, because you know this, having been in the business. He streamlined what it takes for someone who doesn't know how to do the editing, doesn't know how to really do any of this. And he can take, his team is going in, their plan is to build the largest media company in the world.
He's sending me a lot of stuff. So that
yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah. So he invited me to come down to this. You know, had some tickets to it. Invited me to come down to this, and I've got to where I'm going to about half of the different events that he's doing, because it is in that network, as you well know, you meet a bunch of key people that you can really find yourself doing business with. You know.
Drew, I got a good one for you. Obviously. And I mean this expression exactly as I say it. You wear many hats, and you have done it over your career. You constantly are looking for the new change. As you listen to things, like you jumped onto crypto and trying to understand and help understand where the opportunities were. You look into international work. You look into different types of businesses. What's the thing that gets you most excited? What is it about is it the new thing to you, or is it just you get something to do, or just your brain's running 100 miles an hour? Trying to figure all that.
Funny you say that,
yeah.
Okay, because my wife says that I have a theme park in my head. And it's probably the best description I've ever heard, right?
Oh, right.
And Lou, I'm one of these guys. I was raised on a farm, got up at 4 o'clock every morning, had milked a cow by 5. And so I don't set alarms or anything, and I sleep about 4 hours a night. So I usually go to bed 9:30. I'll read for an hour or so. Wake up at 2:30 in the morning, my mind starts running, and I start laying out my day, okay? And I have been, if I don't have passion for something that I'm getting into, and I've done real estate development, I've got 7 patents, I've done 14 radio television shows, franchised 2 companies. I mean, I've done all kind of crazy stuff. But here's the thing, I get bored. Now, I was raised on a little farm with 6 brothers. I'm the middle child.
Oh, man.
My dad told me one time, and there's a longer story to it, but he told me one time, I said, you're unfair to me. I was 14. I said, you're unfair to me. You make me do more work than all the other boys put together. And he goes, because if I didn't keep you busy, you'd have them in trouble.
You're the working dog is what I've got. You know, like my friend has one of those Portuguese water dogs. Those dogs need a job, but they constantly need to be doing something. That's you. There's no sit down with that. So
Drew the dog.
Yeah, Drew the dog.
There.
But Drew Taylor, with you know, I think. By the way, I love that you're also adapting and building new things and investing things in the spirit of the investing stuff, because we're here in the Wall Street conference. Help give your take on where things have been going. Here, let me just summarize. At the time that we're recording this, you know, there was all the global tariffs conversation with China, lots of uncertainty with interest rates and where things will be going. Love to hear your space on this. Just somebody who's gotten a fair dibble and dabble into the economic space. Where do you see things going?
Yeah, so and that's kind of interesting. I'm a eternal optimist. Okay, have been my whole life. Drives a lot of people crazy because, and we were talking earlier about the inflection of news delivery, and based on how they say what they say, it can really change the meaning, right? And so we all kind of live within that, and. Anyway, so in watching things, and when I was raising my sons, raised them as a single father, I used to tell them when they thought their life was over, they're 12, 13, 14 years old, getting in a fight with a buddy or they break up with a girlfriend, and they'd come in and they're forlorn, and I said, tell you what, put an alarm in your clock and your phone for 30 days from today, reminding yourself of this day and how bad life was. And in 30 days, you'll find out it really didn't matter.
Wow.
The point in that is that when hell is hitting the fan, I will sit idle. You know, and just wait until the smoke clears and all that. So then as you look at technology and stuff, remember Web3 was this big deal?
Yeah.
It's not really a deal, right?
Right.
There's trends that come and go and everything else. There's those that stay. I had my first website built in 1994. Less than a million websites in the world. I'm an early adopter of technology, okay? So as I watch, and especially with tech, we're sitting here, when you and I did our first show, what it took in the equipment and all that.
Well, it was more expensive. By the way, this is as makeshift as you can get. We're at an event. We're bringing microphones, bringing audio equipment, and video.
Yeah.
What I find unbelievable is you're right. It's getting easier and easier to do the stuff. But how to do it in a way that connects with people is the key.
100%. Yeah, and it's planning, as you well know. I mean, as I'm watching you do this, which I've done many times. Actually, I always had somebody hired to do it, and I'm doing more of it myself.
Right.
But it's everything you do in life is planning. And so then when let's talk a little bit about world affairs. And one of the things got me into crypto was in cryptocurrency, less than about a third of the world is banked, right? With this, everyone can be banked. Right? Sure. And you can transfer money all over the world instantly and everything else. So part of what got me into crypto, and Lou, I do a lot of philanthropy, okay? I was raised poor. I've had a ton of money. I was broke and homeless in 2010, None of it changes who I am. I'm the same person every single day because all I have to do is go and pivot and make different things happen. So as an early adopter of technology, in all the things that we see, I think that we are going to see, it's funny, Trump talks about the golden age and, and biblically they talk about 1,000 years of, I think we are entering that. Now, they've said it for hundreds of years that we're entering that. But if you look at the rate things are happening, look at what has been accomplished in the last 100 years. And I'm talking about from flight to space to television to cell phones right? And technology is accelerating, and there's more and more smart people. And with the internet, we're all connected everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And so it's the most exciting of times, in my opinion.
Let's do a little plug here.
Yeah.
Share with the listeners and viewers all the places people can find you, the things you got to promote. You got a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Hit it.
So I'm starting a new show, okay? And because I'm building a resort in Mexico and I'm working with a few other people, I'm starting the Globe-Trotting Cowboy, okay? And it's a travel tourism show. And obviously, the only thing I won't be doing, my horse may be a steel horse instead of my four-legged, But basically, and I will use it to promote. All the shows I've ever done have always been to support a business, right? So I'm starting the Globe-Trotting Cowboy. You can, I don't even have a website for it yet. Okay, I'm working on it.
We can find Drew Taylor on social and everything.
Oh,
like
yes.
that. I'm sure we can.
Oh, yes. So, easiest thing to do, go to Google, look up Wild West Crypto Show. Yeah. You'll find me. My contacts and everything are there. We're doing some fun and exciting stuff. And within a couple of months, I'll be broadcasting again on the C-Suite Network.
Love it.
Yeah.
Drew Taylor.
So good to
have
meet
you,
my
man.
friend.
Great to have you. It's fun. I was saying good to meet you. We've only met virtually, and today we get to finally be together. I thought about that afterwards. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
anyway.
and you look exactly like you did. Actually, you haven't aged since I saw you last.
There's a picture here that hopefully everyone heard that. Everyone saw that. He says, I look the same. Same to you, my friend. And by the way, I got to get myself a hat. You and I are going hat shopping. The next time we're together, I'm going in the market with you. I don't know if I'm doing the 100X. Maybe I'm doing a little bit less. But,
ease into it.
Ease into that. Great to have you.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So good to see you.
You're good.
Take care, buddy.
First of all, I'm very excited, everybody. We got Randy Tate here, the CEO and founder of iFlip. I got the opportunity to hang with this guy late in February, a couple of days. My brain blew up because I couldn't believe how cool the stuff he was doing. But I want to do a little rewind. I help explain a little bit about what you're doing, what your project's about, and we'll get to some fun conversation here.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, excited.
Happy to be here.
We're here at the Wall Street Conference, by the way, here in sunny Florida, Palm Beach. That's what we're here for.
Yes, the weather's beautiful.
Yes, it's warm.
It's Florida.
Yes, it's nice.
So, iFlip. We are a very easy-to-use investment platform. We're powered by AI and machine learning, and we help people set up their accounts in a manner where their investments have less risk, and yet still beat the market. So we're trying to be a stopgap for the financial services space. So the little guy has an opportunity to invest in the markets with the effectiveness and the efficiency of an institution.
So mostly alternative investments or things that the regular investor doesn't really have an opportunity to invest in, or is it traditional types of
traditional stuff?
Securities, okay.
What people don't realize is at Wall Street, and we're at the Wall Street conference.
So we have to be careful.
We have to be careful.
Yeah.
Wall Street, though, in general, passes the risk of investing to Main Street.
Right.
They do it to the retail investor, the guy that thinks they're being smart on Robinhood, but they also do it through advisors. The products they give advisors to sell their clients is not the same products they invest in. If you think JP Morgan and BlackRock are investing institutional dollars, their own institutions' dollars into the products that they give the public to invest in, then you don't understand the industry.
Right. How did you start this idea? How did it come to you to focus on this initiative?
You know, that statement I just gave you was given to me by our chief investment officer, co-founder of the company. He's a good friend of mine. He was talking to me over beer and chicken wings, and he literally made that statement. You know, he spent 30 years as a quant on Wall Street managing billions of dollars. He said, Randy, people don't realize that Wall Street passes the risk of investing to Main Street. And for some reason, it struck my fancy because before that moment, I'd never even considered putting money in the stock market. I thought it was rigged. Right. I'll stick to real estate. I'm good at real estate. I know real estate. After learning how the game is actually played, though, we've created the equalizer. So I tell people this, we're better than the traditional investment platforms that people use or the advisors they use. We're a fraction of the cost, and we're easier to use.
Taking this to I always like jumping ahead to the next level. You're providing a tremendous amount of AI information, best practices, a whole bunch of series that is coming up with a solution that's accessible and probably more affordable at some points to the investor. When are big places going to start saying, I need to bring that technology inside or utilize the same thing that you do?
Not till they feel some pain.
Okay.
They don't need this technology. Everywhere today in financial services where you see the two letters AI, well, it's not really AI. It's a simple algorithm. All AI is an algorithm, but all algorithms are not AI.
Right.
And so the fact that people use algorithmic trading, which has been around since the 70s and 80s, is nothing new. It's not fancy. Anytime you see the word robo or AI, those are just algorithms. We've actually taken that to the next generation, and the financial services industry is the last of the big ones to have a technology overhaul, and that's what we're doing.
Since you've started this initiative, what have we grown to, and what are the plans as we're looking forward?
Well, we grew it over 400% last year. Haven't done any marketing. Our platform is substantially beating the S&P 500, like it says it does, right, with about half the risk. Our intention is we're in the middle of our Series A funding round right now. We've raised half of it. We got $5 million to go. Okay. The rest of this money is earmarked towards marketing.
Gotcha.
That 400+% growth last year was without any marketing budget. And so now the software's taking care of itself. And we're just going to continue to grow. And the fact that it's $7 a month, whether you got $500 or $5 million, right, it doesn't matter. It's still $7 a month because we don't need humans.
So with that, there's obviously you, there's others. The support of what you're trying to grow the business in, obviously that raise is going to help get some more marketing help, some other professionals.
Yep.
That's where it's
65% of it's going directly to marketing. We have the marketing team. Yep. We just need the dollars to actually put to work.
So let's have a fun conversation. Okay. We're here at the Wall Street conference.
Exactly.
Why are you here, and what are you looking to learn, and who are you looking to connect with?
You know, one of our board members, Jeffrey Hazlett, runs a C-Suite Network. Right. C-Suite Network had an event that backed up to this. He invited me. You know, he knows we're raising capital. Obviously, he's on our board. This is a conference full of family offices and investors, so it's our perfect audience.
Love it. What are you looking forward to in this venture? You've done lots of cool things, I know, in the past. We're not going to go through the whole litany here, but yeah, what is the thing that you specifically, Randy, are excited about with this opportunity?
Changing the real realm of possibility for people. Okay. Right now, today, the average Joe, Jane, Mary, make sure I, politically proper.
The average person.
The average human. There we go. Human. That covers it, right? Then should offend nobody. The average human does not have an opportunity to actually grow wealth.
Yeah.
They don't. They could spend their whole life, and if any good advisor, any good money manager won't take your money unless you've got, $200-300 grand for the good ones. I mean, that's probably small, 500 grand if you want to go to Ken Fisher, places like that. We give the guy an opportunity to start and continue throughout their whole life and put them in a new world of possibility.
Awesome. Give us a little bit of a plug. Let everybody know where we can find you, learn about you, reach you, connect, how they could learn more about iFlip, etc.
iFlip, go to our website, www. Do they say that anymore? I like to do it because it's funny.
I think it's hard to say the www.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
It's like the www. Like
www.
Right.
iFlipinvest.com. That's our website. Follow us on YouTube. We've got a huge YouTube following, growing every day. And tune in. We do a bi-weekly live show called the AI Circle on YouTube that we broadcast live. So check us out there, or look me up on any social media and say hi.
Randy Tate here at the Wall Street Conference. Great to connect
Thanks,
with you, buddy.
buddy.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it. Welcome, everyone, to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, I am excited to be here with the CEO of the Epoch Times. Some individual who's got an extensive background, has children and family members with lots of degrees that we're going to cover in this conversation, but more notably, we're going to learn all about her here at the Wall Street Conference, which is where we are live here in Palm Beach, Florida. Janice, Trey. Janice, welcome to Thrive Loud.
Well, thank you, Lou Diamond. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Okay, you have an interesting background. You're doing some really cool things. I love to do a little rewind. I don't want to go all the way back to the womb. I want to understand how what you're focused on now, the Epoch Times, how this became your gig.
Yeah, so about a year ago, I was tapped by the board of directors to become the CEO of the Epoch Times and NDD TV. For the audience, Epoch Times is among the top 5 largest publications by subscriptions. We publish in 21 languages, 35 countries, and every day we reach over 5 million people.
Wow.
And we are international news, and we are very much focused on traditional journalism, which is almost went into extinction.
Right.
The reason I took this job is press freedoms, internet freedoms, and religious freedom have always been my DNA. I was once executive director for Global Internet Freedoms, and I have been a member of the press clubs for a long time. And I feel like to really bring the world to the next stage is about providing truthful information. There are lots of media platforms, but many of those either influenced by billionaires, agendas, or certain interests of the major shareholders. Whereas the Epoch Times is independent, non-profits, and our revenues are based on subscriptions primarily. So we are accountable to the readers, and that makes us a difference.
So to somebody who knows that it's very challenging today because the news is not the news, so to speak, it's very hard to get the information you need, and obviously there's political slants, and it really is more sensationalism than actually the news itself. What is different about the Epoch Times?
Yeah, so we adhere to high journalism standards, from how we recruit the people to how we train them. In fact, we're forming an online university to train journalism because many of the schools have went woke, and so it's so important to adhere to the high standards. Our motto is truth, tradition, and hopes. So uncompromising truth. Let me give you a few examples.
Yeah.
Back in December 2019, we reported about COVID, about the pandemics, when no one else reported about it, even though at that time there was no such term as COVID. Many of the subscribers, after reading our coverage, they bought N95 masks. At the time, there were abundance in the major pharmaceutical stores. And some of our readers who were traveling happening in China. They changed the return flights earlier, avoided the lockdowns, whereas their colleagues and relatives on the same initial scheduled flights, they never make it back. They perish in the pandemics. So timely, accurate information save lives. And we cover about the side effects of vaccines. We provide information, that many other media shy away from covering.
How, before this, did your career lead in this path? Give me like the walkthrough and what you did before you got to the Epoch Times in this leadership role.
So I have been a certified public accountant for over 3 decades.
Okay.
And with active license, I was fortunate to work at 6 multi-billion dollars companies. 5 of them are Fortune 500s when I held vice president roles in a wide range of industries, from semiconductor to healthcare to agriculture, and I kind of sharpened my toolbox in terms of focusing on financial rigor, compliance, and talent development, talent recruitment, as well as compensation them in the right package that attract, motivates, and reward them.
Love it. So, okay, being a leader today in this space, challenging. How many people are part of the Epoch Times that you oversee?
Yeah, we have several hundred people around the world. We have reporting stations in 36 locations, and we have studios across the world. And for us, we are relatively small in terms of headcounts, but we are doing amazing work. And what set us apart is the commitments to provide truth, uncompromising truth. For example, if you look at the Wuhan labs leak, we actually produced a documentaries back in early 2020s. And if you look at the coverage of the transnational repression by the Chinese Communist parties, many other media shy away from coverage. In fact, the Epoch Times published the 9 commentaries of the Communist Party 20 years ago, which inspired 446 million Chinese withdrew from the Chinese Communist Party memberships and affiliated organizations, triggering the transformation from a communist state to a new communist state in the most peaceful ways. And then our publication, The Spectre of Communism Ruling the World, in 2018, talk about communism infiltrated into every facet of societies. So we've been providing truth that other media shy away from coverings. And what brings me to this conference is that from early days, I wanted to raise the financial literacy. As many of us know that there's a gap. Many people do not study financial literacy, how to manage the budget, how to understand the financial implications, and how to best manage their own financial future. Yep. And so I'm looking for speakers and contributors, and we're going to roll a lot of program in that area that I really feel like can elevate the financial wellness of everybody. And with our media's reach, over 5 million every day that we reach, and then our satellites, 4 satellites reaching up to 100 million people every day. And so we have a huge platform that can connect. It's about helping people making informed decisions.
Like it. You're here at the Wall Street Conference here in South Florida. What's your main takeaway? What are you looking to take away from this event?
We are actually living at the most pivotal times with the geopolitical situations, the tariffs, and a lot of interconnections between all the countries in the world. We hope to bring to audience informations that may be buried, and to make it simple and easy to understand, and also provide them some warnings about potential collapse, about potential steps that they may take to mitigate the risks, because we don't want them to be the last one to take actions being too late. Oh. And actually, Epoch Times, for the past over 2 decades, we've been providing information oftentimes ahead of times, and our readers find it super useful. And we see the financial markets have a lot of risks, and but there's at the same time, there are lots of new technologies, new investment opportunities. So we hope to be the bridge of helping people make informed decisions.
Love it. Let's do the admin part of the show. Share with all the listeners and viewers where people can find you, learn about you, learn more about the Epoch Times. We'll put it in the notes. They can hear from you.
Yeah. Welcome to subscribe to the Epoch Times. Just go to theepochtimes.com, EPOCH. And we have a special promotion in particular for veterans. The American 250 coming up. For every new subscription, we're going to give a subscriptions to a veterans, and we also have some promotions, with Mother's Days and also celebrating women. We have a special discount rates, to really help empower women, honor women, and come subscribe to our newsletters. And we also have Epoch Health. We have 14,000 articles on Epoch Health on holistic health, and so bringing your physical wellness is also very important. And also check out our TV. It's ntd.com, and you can look at our capital reports, our flagship programs, American Thought Leaders, The Facts Matters, and Crossroads. And so welcome to be part of the family. What we can assure you, if we provide uncensored, unbiased, truthful information that you may not find elsewhere.
Uncensored, unbiased, and truthful individual leading that organization. Janice, Trey, great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for being here, and continue to do what you're doing and enjoy the rest of this conference, and can't wait to hear more about what's going on with the company. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Lou Diamond. My pleasure.
Lou Diamond. It's never just Lou. It's always Lou Diamond. To all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep moving onward and upward, and remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.